start at the back, because that's where the LX 800 leaves its first lasting impression when it pulls away from you. The rear design is bold, but controlled. You get a wide, planted stance with sculpted bodywork that looks carved rather than stamped. The taillights stretch across the tailgate in a clean, horizontal line, giving it width and visual authority, especially at night. There's no overdone chrome here, no unnecessary drama. The Lexus lettering sits confidently, almost calmly, as if it already knows what it is. The rear bumper integrates subtle skid-style elements, reminding you this isn't just a luxury lounge on wheels. It's still built to dominate terrain if needed. Compared to the flashier Escalade rear or the upright G-Wagon look, the LX 800 feels more mature, more intentional. Moving to the left side, the LX 800's profile is where you really feel its mass and balance. The proportions are spot-on, long wheelbase, muscular shoulders, and a roofline that stays strong and purposeful rather than sloping for style points. The character lines are clean and sharp, running with purpose from front to rear. Massive wheels fill the arches properly, not for show, but to match the SUV's commanding stature. From this angle, it feels less like a luxury SUV and more like a high-end armored vehicle designed by people who understand restraint. Park it next to a Range Rover, and you'll notice the difference immediately. Where the Range Rover feels elegant and soft, the LX 800 feels solid, grounded, and unshakable. Now slide over to the right side, and that same sense of balance continues. Lexus didn't design the LX 800 to look aggressive from one angle and boring from another. Every side works together. The doors feel thick, heavy, reassuring. The side steps are seamlessly integrated, making entry effortless without breaking the design flow. Even the mirrors feel sculpted for function and aerodynamics rather than decoration. This is an SUV that looks just as comfortable pulling up to a 5-star hotel as it does sitting at the edge of a mountain trail. Compared to rivals like the BMW X7, which leans heavily into luxury-first styling, the LX 800 strikes a rare balance between toughness and refinement. Open the door, and this is where Lexus reminds everyone why they've always been masters of interior craftsmanship. The cabin of the 2026 Lexus LX 800 feels like stepping into a sanctuary. The materials don't just look premium, they feel alive. Soft leather wraps nearly every surface, paired with subtle metal and carbon-inspired accents that add depth without overwhelming the senses. The layout is calm and confident. Lexus doesn't bombard you with screens just to show off tech. Instead, everything feels thoughtfully placed. Dual large displays handle infotainment and vehicle controls, crisp and responsive, but never distracting. Compared to the G-Class interior, which feels bold and industrial, the LX 800 feels more refined, more human. The seats deserve their own moment. They're wide, supportive, and designed for long journeys without fatigue. Whether you're in the front or the second row, comfort is king. The third row, often an afterthought in luxury SUVs, is actually usable here. Ambient lighting subtly shifts depending on drive mode, giving the cabin a different mood whether you're cruising at night or pushing the LX 800 into sportier settings. Even the sound system feels tuned for clarity rather than volume, turning the cabin into a private concert hall when you want it, or complete silence when you don't. Now let's talk about the heart of this beast, because this is where the LX 800 separates itself from the old-school luxury crowd. Under the hood sits a twin-turbo V8 hybrid setup, producing around 720 horsepower. Let that sink in for a second. This is a full-size luxury SUV that moves with the urgency of a performance sedan. Press the accelerator, and the response is instant but never violent. Lexus didn't tune this powertrain to scare you, they tuned it to reassure you. 0 to 60 happens in under 4 seconds, which honestly feels surreal given the size and weight. Compared to the Escalade V, which delivers its power with brute force, the LX 800 feels smoother, more controlled, almost elegant in the way it accelerates. The hybrid system is the real magic here. It doesn't feel like a fuel-saving add-on. It feels like an evolution of performance. The electric motors fill in power seamlessly, making throttle response immediate and linear. There's no lag, no hesitation, just smooth, relentless motion. The transmission works quietly in the background, always in the right gear, always ready. And when you're not pushing it, the LX 800 settles into a calm, composed cruiser that glides over roads like they barely exist. Ride quality is another area where Lexus flexes hard. The adaptive suspension reads the road constantly, adjusting in real time. On highways, it floats, not in a disconnected way, but in a controlled, confidence-inspiring manner. Switch to sport mode, and suddenly this massive SUV tightens up, corners flatter, and feels far smaller than it actually is. Take it off-road, and the LX 800 transforms again. Advanced all-wheel drive, terrain management modes, and intelligent torque distribution allow it to crawl over mud, snow, and rocks with ease. This is where it reminds the Range Rover that Lexus hasn't forgotten its off-road DNA. Now let's talk numbers, because price matters. The 2026 Lexus LX 800 is expected to start north of the standard LX lineup, pushing into serious luxury territory. We're likely looking at a starting point well into six figures, depending on trims and options. But here's the thing. When you compare it to similarly equipped Range Rovers, G-Wagons, or Bentleys, the LX 800 starts to look like a value play in the ultra-luxury segment. You're getting cutting-edge, hybrid performance, legendary Lexus reliability, and a level of refinement that doesn't age overnight. So what's the final verdict? The 2026 Lexus LX 800 isn't trying to win a popularity contest. It's not chasing trends. It's not begging for attention. Instead, it stands quietly at the top, offering a different kind of luxury, one built on confidence, precision, and emotional connection. This is an SUV for people who don't need to announce their success because they already know who they are. Compared to its rivals, it may not be the loudest or flashiest, but it might just be the most complete. And that's what makes it special. The LX 800 doesn't end when you park it. It stays with you. The way the door closes with that solid, reassuring thud. The way the cabin isolates you from chaos. The way it makes even a simple drive feel intentional. Lexus didn't just build an SUV here, they built an experience. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more honest, high-level car breakdowns like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Drive Zone Meter, and follow Motor Verdict Meter for more real-world insights without the hype. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you take the LX 800 over a G-Class or Range Rover? I'll catch you in the next one.